Welcome back, bookworms and constant readers, to Find a Girl Horror. I am your host, Chelsea, and today, this is probably one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. We are at film number 42. We've had to skip some films because I don't have access to them. I have to buy them. I will be getting them and then putting them on the channel whenever I do. But we're going to keep moving forward because we have 1,001 films to get through to finish off the book, 1,001 Films You Must See Before You Die. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll leave a link up here to that video explaining the book and the purpose of these videos. And like I say in every video, these films are not ranked. It's not best to worst or anything like that, worst to best. This book starts in 1900, it goes to 2020, and then year by year they list the films that the people who wrote the book feel you must see before you die. At the front of the book, there's a checklist. It's in alphabetical order. We are currently in the A's. And today's film, film number 42, is American Graffiti. This film came out in 1973. It was a year before I was born. It is PG. It's an hour and 50 minutes long. I actually own this movie, so I didn't have to buy it or hunt it down. But if you would like to see it, you can buy or rent it both on Apple, and I believe Amazon Prime has it as well. Probably one of the most famous directors of all directed this film, George Lucas. You all know Star Wars, Indiana Jones. That's what he's famous for. I'm pretty sure that's all George Lucas directed, was the Indiana Jones, the Star Wars films, the first three, the original trilogy, and then he did American Graffiti, which was his second film, and his first film was THX 187, I believe. So this has a huge all-star cast, and I do have to go through all of these. So this will be a bit of a longer video as far as movie reviews go. There is a total of, I think, 7 cast members. All of these cast members went on to be stars either in film or TV or both. So you have Richard Dreyfuss, who plays Kurt. You know Richard Dreyfuss from films like Close Encounters, Mr. Holland's Opus. Ron Howard, who plays Steve. He's more known for his director and producing for films like Apollo 13, Far and Away, Rush. He was on Happy Days. Then you have Paul LeMat, who plays John. He was in more American Graffiti, and he was also in the miniseries for Lonesome Dove. You have Charles Martin Smith, who plays Terry the Toad. He was in Starman, Deep Impact, The Untouchables. I think is where most people will know him from. He was the FBI agent who came up with the idea of getting Al Capone on tax evasion. You have Cindy Williams, who plays Lori. She's famous for Laverne and Shirley and lots of other TV shows. You have Candy Clark, who plays Debbie. She was in Zodiac, Blue Thunder, and she also did a lot of TV shows. And then finally you have Mackenzie Phillips, who plays Carol. She is most famous for One Day at a Time, but she also did a lot of TV like Orange is the New Black and ER. This film was nominated for 5 Academy Awards. It didn't win any. Alright, so what is this film about? This film has multiple storylines going on that I'll go through each one. But the central story to this film is that this is the last night that two of these group of friends will be in town. They're going off to college in the morning, and this is like their last shebang, their last night on the town to, remember everybody by before they leave for college. The timeline's kind of messed up because there's also a high school dance going on, but this movie has kind of like a end of summer type feel. So I don't understand why there's like this freshman sock hop going on during the summer. Maybe I'm wrong about the timeline, but that's the way it seems. So Richard Dreyfuss's character Kurt, we'll start with him. He is one of the guys going off to college. Him and his friend Steve, who is played by Ron Howard, they're supposed to go off to college together in the morning. Ron Howard's character Steve is spending the evening with his girlfriend, and Kurt, he goes off on his own thing and he gets pulled into this wild adventure. First he's hanging out with friends. He sees this girl in this white T-bird, and it looks like she mouths, "I love you." So he is spending the rest of the film chasing this girl down to find out who she is, to meet her. And in the meantime, he scratches a gang member's car. He gets pulled into the back seat with this car gang. They do some illegal shit. He gets caught up in that. He actually becomes a member of their car gang. He gets to meet Wolfman Jack. He's trying to get this dedication on the radio so he can speak to this blonde in this T-bird before he leaves. The real Wolfman Jack is in the film, makes an appearance. Now, Steve and his girlfriend Lori, played by Cindy Williams, they have their own storyline going on. They have this weird like agreement that they're going to see other people. She's having like a nervous breakdown that he's leaving, and it slowly builds as the film goes along. They go to this, even though they're graduated, they go to this freshman sock hop, which I don't know why you would do that as someone who's graduated, but they do. And they get some kind of award while they're there from the school, which it's like, these are freshmen. How do they even know these seniors? But everybody's cheering and happy, and they do this dance, and then they split up. Then you have the other friend, Terry the Toad. Steve leaves Terry the Toad his car to take care of while he goes off to college. Toad is out driving around. He picks up this blonde on the street, Debbie, who is played by Candy Clark. They go driving around. They have their own adventure. They get some liquor. They witness a holdup. The car gets stolen. They get into a fight. Like, it's this whole big thing. Then you have my favorite character of the whole movie, Paul LeMat as John Milner. John Milner drives this really cool 32 Ford coupe. It's the fastest car in the valley. Everybody knows it. It's one of those things where you don't understand why this character is in the movie, because he seems much older than the seniors that are in this movie. It's like he's been out of high school for a while. It's kind of like, if you've watched Dazed and Confused, Matthew McConaughey's character hanging out with all the seniors. That's what this is. He is cruising the main drag when he meets some of these girls in a car and asks them if they wanted to ride with him, and they're like, no, I got a boyfriend. No, I'm going steady. And he's like, there's got to be somebody in there that wants to, go riding around all night. They send over one of the girl's teenage younger sisters. She's like 13. Her name is Carol, played by Mackenzie Phillips. Now John is trying to find her sisters to give her back because this girl is way too young for him. And trying to trick her into, we can't find your sister, where do you live? This girl ain't having none of it. She never gets to go wild and be carefree. She's making a night of it whether he likes it or not. And in the end, they end up liking each other as friends, not romantically, as friends. John, she grows on John and becomes, really, really cool with her. She's not such an annoyance. One character I can't believe I forgot is Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford plays Bob Falfa, and he drives a 55 Chevy, and his story in all this is he is driving around town trying to find John because he wants to race him. And the final scene of the movie is them two drag racing. And then, everybody meeting at the airport. And it wraps up really nice. There is a part 2, which is good, but it's not as good as this first one. I cannot recommend this film enough. The soundtrack is amazing. The cars in the movie are awesome. All of the characters, the story, it's funny, very entertaining. Definitely check this one out. All right, so horror connections, and there is a lot. So Richard Dreyfuss, he has done a few horror movies. One is by a horror writer, but I wouldn't consider it a horror movie. So in 1975, he did Jaws. In 2010, he did Piranha 3D. And in 2025, he's doing this movie called Into the Deep. It's also about a killer shark. And in 1986, he did Stephen King's Stand By Me. All right, so Ron Howard. Ron Howard is the producer of another Stephen King movie, The Dark Tower. And then he directed a horror film in 2024 called Eden. Paul Le Mat is in 1989's Puppet Master and also Grove Secrets. Charles Martin Smith, who plays Toad, is in 86's Trick or Treat. He was in an episode of Tales from the Crypt, an episode of The X-Files, and he directed an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Cindy Williams was in 1972's Beware the Blob, in 1973, The Killing Kind, in 1983, The Creature Wasn't Nice, and then Candy Clark was in 82's Q, the Winged Serpent. If you've never seen that, it's a cheesy creature feature. It's cool though. 83's Amityville 3D. In 1985, another Stephen King connection. She was in Cat's Eye. In '88, she did a remake of The Blob, and in 2016, she did another horror film called Cold Moon. And then also Mackenzie Phillips in 1985 did The Covenant. This movie I gave a solid 5 out of 5. Highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. That's all I got for you in this one. If you like this video, please hit that like button. It helps the channel. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. Ring that bell so you know when new videos come out. And until next time, watch more movies and read more books.